so scared to record this. I was fired 7 days postpartum. Let's talk about it. The way I filmed a whole video of this happening in real time and just decided not to post it.
Someone tell me if this is legal or if this is fair.
I guess let's just start with the day she was born, which was May 6th. I was supposed to have a meeting that day, but naturally I missed the meeting. I was in labor. But aside from missing that meeting, I got a text from the CEO saying, hey, I want to talk to you. Just like, I think they forgot that I was past my due date. I was going to be giving birth at any time. So I have Peyton. Her birthday was the best day of my life. Literally, first thing I do the next morning is text my supervisor and text the owner that texted me the night before and said, I want to talk to you. So I just said, hey, so sorry. I gave birth yesterday. A little busy. And to that I get, oh my goodness, congratulations. Would it be okay if I sent you over some footage? Can you edit this? If not, no worries, but could you? And I'm the kind of person, you say jump, I say how high. I'm not gonna say no. That's how bad of a people pleaser I am. I am not gonna say no. I was sure. Cause I'm surely I can edit and surely I can get it done. And I did. Here I am, so sleep deprived. Hormones are absolutely everywhere. It is the middle of the night. I have a baby on my boob and I am editing a video. I am doing my job. I am clocked in 24 hours postpartum. I guess it's important to note too that prior to this, there was no conversation about maternity leave. I fully was planning on just using my PTO the first 2 weeks of her life so I could take care of my baby and still have money coming in. I get the video over, I go about my weekend. I'm honestly just adjusting to being a new mom. Postpartum hit me hard. I feel amazing now. Those first 2 weeks, you are just being depleted of all of your hormones. You just don't feel like yourself. I was just in such a fragile state. So here we are, 7 days postpartum. It's about 10 in the morning and I'm nursing her and I'm just having a bad day already. I'm just already on the brink of tears. I am just so overwhelmed with being a new mom and I get a phone call. And in this 5-minute conversation, I am told that they are going in a different direction. And it was also mentioned in the phone call that my life would be crazy. I'm a new mom, I have a baby, and I live so far away. Mind you, I've been working remote for over a year at this point. But what was so interesting in that conversation too was oh my gosh, how are you doing? You have a new baby. And then I did a very casual response and said, oh my gosh, yeah, things are crazy up here. And I was stopped with, oh, is it crazy? Is it crazy? Almost, I feel like I was almost being gaslit to saying that it was hard. And it was almost like they wanted me to say oh, it's too hard, I can't do this. No, I freaking told myself I'm still working when I have her. In this conversation as well, I was told that my last day would be in 2 days. The only thing I would receive is my PTO, which legally is mine anyways. I earned that. That's my PTO. And then that was that. It was a 5-minute conversation saying, you're fired, 2 days notice, and you can have your PTO. So I start sobbing the second I hang up the phone. And I did take out my phone and record, but I was so embarrassed. I'm why am I filming myself sobbing? But
was working 24 hours after I had her.
And then I immediately call my mom. My mom has the exact same response as every single person that I've told this story. They're like, babe, that's illegal. I'm sitting here just thinking, oh my gosh, that was really mean. Not gonna lie, my last HR class in college was 6 years ago. And I'm just sitting here that was pretty messed up. That was rude. No, honey, that was illegal. Not gonna lie, I have the kind of parents that would die for me. So the second my mom hears about this, she goes and tells my dad. My dad starts talking to his lawyers and his attorneys and they're oh my gosh, this is insane. This is a slam dunk. If she took them to court, they'd be done for. This is crazy. So what I'm assuming happened behind the scenes was the person that decided to fire me, I don't think consulted HR. This person was the owner of the company. So they're just thinking, oh, I can just fire her on a random Wednesday, but all of a sudden I'm getting emails and calls from their HR, basically begging for mercy because I don't think there was ever a conversation saying, hey, we're gonna fire Alyssa. I think if there had been any prior conversation, it would have been whoa, babe, don't do that. We can't do that. We're not about to do that. Let's be smart here. So I hop on the phone with HR. They're telling me how much they love me, how much they appreciate me. basically saying whatever they have to say to cover their butt. So essentially they would send me an offer saying like, okay, we'll give you this much severance and you can sign this and then this, like basically trying to make it right. Because originally it was, you don't get zilch, your last day's in 2 days and that's it. They obviously knew what I could do if I wanted to take the long route and drag this out and make this an ongoing case. And mind you, when this was happening, she had a pediatrician appointment the next day and I was a full-time employee. So all of our health insurance came from this company. And not only were they putting me out of health insurance, but my brand new newborn. I know some people are going to think I'm actually insane for this, but I ended up taking the severance instead of taking this to court because I also am just the kind of person where I'm like, the trash is going to take itself out every single time. Karma is the realest thing in the universe. And yes, could I have probably gotten about a ton of money? Absolutely. But you know what? I will take the severance and know that whatever is coming around will go around and they will get what's coming to them. So at the end of the day, I basically have been getting paid all summer just to be a mom, talk about a dream job. And I've truly loved nothing more than waking up every single day and the only thing I have to worry about that day is being her mom. So it was the biggest blessing in disguise, but also screw those guys.
I've not had this bad of a customer service experience in my 23 years of life. Let's get into it. So I just moved into a new apartment and I need internet and I've never lived here before. So I was like, okay, what do people use for internet? Find out that 3 other my neighbors have Frontier by Verizon. So I'm like, okay, this is cheap. They have a discount, like super good. It's supposed to be really fast. It's fiber internet, which I've never had before. So I'm like, whatever, we'll try something new. It's in our budget. And if it works, it's fine. I schedule the appointment. The guy comes out and installs it. He's drilling holes through my walls and I'm like, whatever, you know what, whatever, if it works, it's fine. Guess what, it doesn't work. So then I call that night and I'm like, hello, someone just installed this and it doesn't work, what do I do? They make me do all these troubleshooting steps. They're like, actually, we can't even help you further because your account isn't set up yet, so you need to call back in 24 hours. I do exactly that. I wait exactly 24 hours and I chat them and I'm like, hello, I need help. My internet doesn't work and you just installed it yesterday. They're like, oh, unfortunately your account's not set up yet and you need to wait another 24 hours. And I was like, okay, I had this internet installed 2 days ago. Technically it was the day before, but like 2 full days. And I'm like, I can't wait any longer. I said, I do my schoolwork from home. I do my work from home. I need this internet. She ends the chat in the middle of what I'm speaking. So I call and I'm like, hello, this is what's happening. They make me do all the troubleshooting steps again. They're like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you because you have to wait for your account to be established. I'm like, actually, can I just cancel? Can I please just cancel? Because this is ridiculous. You're sending me on a wild goose chase. I've already spent hours trying to figure this out and it's not working. So they send me to a retention specialist. She's like, honey, I will get you taken care of. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, will you be willing to like just stay with us for another day or two? Like, just let me figure this out. Like, I will get you taken care of. Gives me her government name, gives me her email, her work email. She was like, we're not supposed to give these out, but I'm just going to give you them because I really want you to trust me. I'm like, sure. Like if you can get, she's like, I'm going to get a technician out tomorrow morning as soon as I get in at 8:30. She's like, I'm local to you. I live in East Haven, Connecticut. Like, I'm going to really take care of you. She's like, I'll give you a 3-year price lock guarantee with no contract. I'm like, sure. If you can get a tech out here tomorrow morning, fine, perfect, amazing. She's like, I'll call you at 8:30. 8:30 comes and goes, 9:30 comes and goes, 10:30. The whole day goes by. I have not seen a technician. I have not gotten a follow-up. I emailed her with no response. I'm like, okay, awesome. So I called to cancel again. I'm like, hello, trying to check on a status of a technician. They're like, no appointment was scheduled for a technician to come out there. I'm like, oh, okay, really? So then I'm like, okay, so can I just cancel my service? They make me do all the troubleshooting steps again. Now, I have had hours into this at this point. This phone call specifically lasted 2.5 hours. So I'm like, okay, I I just want to cancel. Just let me cancel this, please. I'm so sick of you guys. Nothing is working. I can't even send my friends a photo on text message. Like, please, can we just cancel? They're like, everything looks good on our end. Like, it looks like you're connected. What do you want me to say? Oh, actually, you're right. Actually, maybe it's my fault my TV is not connecting. Silly me. Cancel this, please. So then they transfer me to the retention people again. And I'm like, please, I just want to cancel. I just want to cancel it. They're like, okay, what's your PIN? I'm like, I don't remember setting a PIN. They're like, no, it comes with your account. Like, they set it. Like, it's in your app. There's no PIN in my app. He puts me on hold for 45 minutes. And it's like, oh, your account's not fully set up yet. You're going to need to wait another 24 hours. So then this morning, I get a notification. It's like, your PIN has finally been set up. Hello, can we please cancel my service? They're like, sure, we can cancel your service. Give me that PIN number. I give her the PIN number. She's like, okay, so you do have a bill for $35 for this month. I'm going to waive that for you. I'm like, thank God, finally someone who understands. She looks through all the notes and everything. She's like, yeah, I'm going to waive that for you. You literally had the service for 3 days. I'm like, thank God. She's like, you're going to receive a final bill in the mail for $180 for an early termination fee. Also, you need to send back all the equipment or else it's going to be another $350. I said, hold on. Does a technician come out to my apartment and fix all the holes that he screwed into my fucking walls? She's like, no, ma'am. No one does that. I said, I have to pay $500 and nobody comes and fixes it. I said, I paid for this and it doesn't even work. And then I'm like, okay, well, how do I dispute that charge? I was like, I can send the equipment back. No problem. There's a $350. How do I get this $150 removed? She's like, well, in a situation where we have done every single step, we would waive that fee for you. But since you refuse to do any more troubleshooting, we have to keep that fee on there. Once you get your final bill, you can call and try to dispute it. I said, what other steps? She goes, I could send a technician out there for you tomorrow. We can schedule an appointment and figure out what's going on. I said, I tried doing that. Nobody fucking showed up. She's like, oh, yeah, well, unfortunately, like, those are the next steps. Like, that would be the only way that I could waive this fee. And I actually see here that you accepted a $150 fee for a technician to come out before that was promised to you. I said, this is the first time I'm hearing about a $150 fee. I said, I don't even have $150 in my bank account, ma'am. I would not be able to accept that. Why would I accept that? I just want to cancel. I never want to talk to you people again. She's like, yeah, unfortunately, like, that's all I can do is, like, cancel your service, waive that $30 fee, and then hope you send the equipment back. And then you can call again and dispute that $150 charge. So that has been my life. If anyone ever considers using Frontier by Verizon, please don't. I actually put the equipment in my car yesterday, drove up to the actual Verizon store, wondering if they could help me. And I had a very nice, pleasant conversation with the 3 men that worked at the Verizon store, telling me that everyone complains about Frontier and that they have nothing but bad news to say about them and that they hope I can cancel my service. So when you have your own employees talking bad about your own service that you're partnered with, it's despicable.
Okay, so here are some of the things that I've learned since gaining, like, more of a social media presence. Like, keep in mind, I'm absolutely nobody, but I've gotten more attention on social media, like, in the last couple months than I ever had before. And, like, sure, it's fun to get attention, but yeah, it comes with some repercussions. So let me talk about the craziest hate I've ever gotten on the internet. So I think my posts, like, first started getting attention because I'm super candid about my history with my eating disorder and with anorexia. Like, I'm super candid about my experience and about, like, being somebody who goes to the gym after, like, getting out of treatment and recovery. So naturally I get comments body shaming me, calling me fat. The ones that really get to me are ones that tell me to relapse and to starve myself again. Those ones really bugged me because I'm just like, whoa. Like, I for some reason wasn't expecting those ones. Like, I was expecting the fat shaming and the body shaming. But, like, the ones that were, like, telling me, like, oh, go back to that way, that actually really fucked with me. I was like, I did not see that coming. Okay, fuck, my therapist will be hearing about this. Another one I've gotten, like, about my body is, this one's funny because I'll, like, do a video about, like, getting muscular, growing muscles, and everybody's like, you're not that muscular, you know? Or I've had a lot of men be like, compared to a man, you're, like, nothing. Like, you don't have any muscle at all. I have way more muscle than you could ever have. And I'm just like, okay, thanks, bro. Like, all right, I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to be more muscular than a man. I think that would be a little bit odd and peculiar. And if I do have more muscle than you as a man, then, like, go to the gym, dude. Like, yikes. Because I don't have that much muscle. So I've been body shamed both ends of the spectrum. I've been too big, too little. Like, pick a struggle. I can't even speak. Pick a struggle. Fuck. Next is I've been made fun of a lot for my hair. I've had a lot of history with my hair. Basically, long story short is, like, having my hair has never been, like, super healthy because I'm naturally a brunette and I naturally have pretty curly hair. So, like, bleaching and putting heat on my hair obviously, like, does take a little bit of a toll on it, but, like, nothing crazy. Like, back in high school, again, my hair was bleached, my hair was straightened, and it was, like, down to my boobs. Like, it was super long, super thick, like, maybe a tiny bit dry and damaged, but, like, nothing crazy. So when I relapsed on my eating disorder and, like, was essentially starving to death, surprise, all your hair starts to fucking fall out. So my hair was, like, this long, and it, like, my hair's super thick naturally. Like, I'll take it out. Like, this is what we're working with. Like, I've got these funky curtain bangs, but, like, it is thick hair. And my whole entire head of hair fell out until I had, like, I want to say this much hair on my entire head. So all my hair was falling out. Like, it was this horrible, like, dead texture. Like, I wasn't even getting it done anymore. Like, I wasn't bleaching it. I wasn't straightening it. But it was just falling out. Like, every time I'd shower, every time I brush it, like, clumps falling out. Like, it was insane. So when I got out of eating disorder treatment, like, I was super insecure because when you get weight restored, like, you look funky. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, you look odd. Like, your body fat distribution is really weird. You don't look like yourself. You feel super insecure. And on top of that, I didn't have, like, basically any fucking hair. Like, I was balding. Like, none of my hair was growing back yet. So in the months after getting out, like, obviously my hair started to grow back again, and it took such a long time to grow back to, like, its original length. And, like, right when I got out of treatment too, I gave myself a really big haircut. Like, I went to the salon because it was so broken off and so thin and so unhealthy. And mind you, I hadn't had it bleached or dyed in half a year, but it was falling out because of my health. To all the people who say, it's not your eating disorder, you just bleach your hair too much. Like, no, baby, it was falling out when I didn't do anything on my hair. Like, it was back to its natural color. Like, it was brunette. So I didn't put heat on it. Like, it was just falling the fuck out, bro. So I cut it really short, and then it's been growing back ever since. And, like, I have started bleaching it again. I have started, like, I'll blow dry it when I'm done with the shower. Obviously, I'll use, like, heat protection, whatever. But people will be like, oh my god, your hair is so fried, your hair is so damaged, your hair is, like, horrible, like, oh my god, like, like, people are so weird about my hair. Or they'll be like, do you miss having long hair? Like, do you ever plan about growing your hair out? Like, why would you ever get a haircut? And I'm like, first of all, guys, it's not like I have a fucking buzz cut, bro. Like, my hair is short, as in, it's like, it looks like a grown out fucking bob. Like, it's not that odd and obscure, I think, to have my hair, but according to TikTok Live people, my hair is an anomaly that needs to be commented on. People also call me chopped a lot. Like, whatever, I don't really care. I like the way I look. People, I'm trying to think. I don't know. People will body shame me in other ways where it's like, they'll make fun of how small my chest is, where it's like, I'm not blind. Like, girl, I know. Like, do you want to pay for, like, the fucking $60,000 it takes to get a boob job? Because I don't. I like my chest. I don't care. I do not care. Like, genuinely. But I'm always made fun of for my A cups. But, like, I don't care. I mean, it sounds like I do care, but, like, obviously it's gonna hurt my feelings when someone insults me, but it's like, I don't really desire to have something that I just wasn't born with. Like, I'm trying to embrace at least some of my natural features. Like, if I can't embrace my natural hair color or my natural hair texture, like, I might as well embrace my natural body and my natural face. I'm trying to think. I'm like, there's definitely other things that people said. People tell me that I'm annoying, that I talk too much, which, like, babe, it's a TikTok live. What do you expect me to do? They expect me to do ASMR because I made, like, I do it on live sometimes, and it caught somebody's attention, and they recorded me, and then that post got, like, 1 million views, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's ASMR girl. So if I don't do ASMR, God forbid I just yap, God forbid I do something else, everybody in the comments are like, shut the fuck up, nobody wants to hear what you want to say, just tap on something. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, you have never been taught manners, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, that's crazy. Actually crazy. So that's always annoying when I'm just, like, when I'm told to shut up multiple times, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, genuinely, what is y'all's problem? I've also been told I'm rude because I'm very candid, and if someone says something weird, I will call them out for it. And that might be rude, but I just think it's honest and putting up boundaries, because, like, I'm not just gonna be insulted and take it. Like, I'm gonna get pissed, bro. Like, I'm also very easily rage baitable, so, like, you can say anything and it's gonna rub me the wrong way, which is probably why I get rage baited so much. But it's like, whatever. Like, I have a pretty, like, I don't know, I'm pretty hot-headed, so I'll definitely fall for the occasional rage bait, but, like, I feel like I'm only human. And honestly, the pros outweigh the cons of having, like, a social media presence. Like, again, I barely have a social media presence, but, like, I have more of one than I've ever had before, so this is just, like, my experience with it. But it's definitely odd. It's definitely weird to get this attention. People have asked me if I've been noticed in public, or I'm like, babe, I only have 25k followers. Like, I have not been noticed in public. That would be, like, I'm no celebrity. And I'm, like, low-key terrified of being famous. I don't know. Like, that would be freaky. Like, maybe if I was, like, a niche micro-celebrity. But, like, I don't want to be famous. Like, fuck, that would be scary. Like, I would like the money, but, like, I don't know.
Story time on how I became homeless and why I'm in the situation that I am now. Now, before I get into the story, I will be mentioning some trigger warnings, such as sexual abuse, child neglect, and I think that's it. If you are uncomfortable with these topics, you may scroll away now. But if you are willing to stay and listen to my story, please do, and stay as long as possible, because your engagement means the most to me. Thank you. Let's buckle up and begin. I apologize if I cry at any moments in time. This is a very upsetting story for me to tell. Before I begin, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on my childhood, just because I feel like it's important to tell, because it'll add context to the story a little bit. My father abused me in multiple ways. You can let your mind wander and you can figure out those ways. I don't want to say them publicly, but you can figure it out. With this, me and my sisters had no food in the house, and we would be starving every single day. All of us were severely underweight when I was living at home. And I'm pretty sure they still are now. I don't know. I try to help them as much as I can. I buy them Uber Eats because I'm not allowed at the house, so I order them food, and I try my best to help them while I'm not home, while I'm not able to be there and help them. So I think that's pretty much a good rundown on everything. I'm sorry if I'm boring. I'm sorry if I'm not interesting to listen to, but this is my story, and I'm going to tell it in the way that I can. Now, let's get into how I got kicked out. Basically, I had been sleeping in my mom's room at the time, so I was just chilling in there. I can give some background on that if you guys want my full lore, but I don't want to get into any of that right now. So, basically, I was sitting in my mom's room, and she had come home from work, and we ended up fighting about my dad, like always, because that was the main thing that we would fight over, because with everything that happened, she didn't believe me. Through the 3 times I had gone to the cops and told them what my dad had been doing, she did not believe me. So we continue on fighting, and at one point she just goes, if you're so unhappy here, just leave, because we don't want you here anymore. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I don't know what qualities my dad has for my mom to be so wrapped around his finger. He's so manipulative and abusive, and even now, he doesn't do anything to benefit the household in any way, shape, or form. She's just with him to be with him. They don't even sleep in the same room. Now, with this, and my mom continuing to yell at me, I just grab a backpack and I start putting the little bit of clothes that I had in the backpack, because, I mean, I had some more clothes, but none of them were clean because our laundry room was a disaster and we had no laundry detergent, so I could only shove a few things into this backpack and call it good. And I remember, while I was doing this, one of my little sisters came into the room, and she looked at me and she went, "We'd be happier if you weren't here." And sorry. And I don't know, that was like my last straw. I was like, I'm so tired of being in this toxicity, and I'm so tired of just being around people who don't care about me. And so I text my friend Izzy while I still can, because my mom is actively turning off my phone service as I'm putting the stuff in my backpack so that I can't call or text anybody. And thankfully Izzy lived 2 streets away, so I was able to walk to her in like 5 minutes. And as I'm at Izzy's house, I text one of my friends and I'm like, "Hey, can your mom come get me? Because I need help." Thankfully, my friend's mom was able to come and get me, but I did end up leaving their house at one point, and I don't want to like start anything, and I don't want to like cause any drama, because me and this girl that I went to stay with and her mom came and got me, we're not friends anymore, and it breaks my heart. I still have a special place for her in my life, but she and I are not friends anymore, and I don't wish to put anything onto her family, especially not straight on social media. So I ended up leaving their house, and that's how I've been couch surfing this entire time, because I have nowhere to go. I'm basically 45 minutes away from where I used to be, and if I want to get down to my boyfriend, or if I want to see anybody, I have to take a $40 Uber to get back to civilization, because the place that I'm staying right now is in the middle of nowhere, and as grateful as I am to have this place and this opportunity, I don't know how to drive, so I have to get these Ubers everywhere, and it's so much money, and it's just, I can't even go to a job interview without spending an arm and a leg, because why is everything so expensive? Why is everything so unfair? So I am unable to get a car because, one, can't drive, and it's just, it's pounding on me, okay? And, my whole situation has broken and battered me down. The last place that I stayed, when I had to leave there, it broke my heart, because I had to leave my friend behind, and I didn't want to have to leave her. And now everywhere I go, I have no sense of stability at all. I always feel like everything's just gonna get ripped away from me, or everything is just gonna happen and I'm gonna be like a super unhappy person. And I'm so sick and tired of everything. And I know I posted yesterday and I was in a bad mood, and I wasn't like my normal me. It's just, I'm so sad. I'm so sick and tired of everything. I want my own place. I want to be able to feel secure and have a place to call home, because I haven't had that. I haven't had that for so long. And I apologize. And that's basically my story. If you guys stayed to the end, comment a dinosaur or Snoopy, because we love Snoopy over here. But thank you for listening, and I hope this answered a little bit of people's questions. I know it was kind of messy and kind of rushed. I'm not good at this whole social media thing. I never even wanted to do this because this is so embarrassing. And I know in my last video people said it's not embarrassing, but it truly is, because I have to come out onto the internet and I have to be vulnerable because I have no other way to get help, because I don't have anybody. The only person that I have is my boyfriend, and I don't know. It's just, I have nowhere to go. If I lose this, if I
if I do anything wrong. I'm just scared I'm gonna lose this too, and I'm gonna have nowhere to go. So, thank you for listening to my story. If you want me to redo it or just give you a background on, I don't know, my lore, let me know. But if you did make it this far, thank you so much. If you could like and comment and maybe just copy the link, it would help me greatly. I put the GoFundMe in my bio. It's actually GoFundMe this time because the spot fund was sketchy, and yeah. And before I end this video, I would just like to say thank you to everybody who has supported me and who is continuing to follow my journey. I'm sorry. I really wish that I could come on here and show you guys a shiny apartment or just a place that I'm like safe in. But I'm unfortunately not able to do that because of the circumstances that I am in. But again, thank you so much for all of the support and the kind comments that everybody's been leaving. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys the next time I post.
Do you guys want to hear a true scary story? For a quick context, I used to babysit for an extremely haunted house, and the oldest daughter, I call her Luna. The youngest daughter, I call her Aura for their own protection, change their names. Luna had an imaginary friend named Pete, who was actually a demonic entity, but Pete actually is not the entity we were talking about today, because there was multiple entities in this home. One of them that I call Bathsheba. I call her Bathsheba because she strongly resembles Bathsheba from The Conjuring. That's the best resemblance I can put to it. She was real-time living walking nightmare fuel. Now this year, I remember very specifically, it was the 23rd of December. The family had a tradition where they would open a gift with the girls on Christmas Eve every single year. They'd get like one present before Christmas Day. This family, like the parents worked really hard in really strange hours. That's why I was kind of over there overnights, and I was in high school, so I really had time to make it work. But the parents had asked me, hey, if you can do the Christmas Eve gifts tonight, the 23rd, with the girls, because I don't remember, the next day was super busy or something like that with work or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, of course, like just record it for us. I'm like, yeah, I got you guys. So I had gotten the girls all pretty much ready for bed, you know, bath time, dinner, brushing their teeth, stuff like that. And the last thing of the night was for them to open their gifts. So they're really excited, they're giddy, they're sitting at the dining room table across from each other, and I'm about to let them dive in. I'm like, oh wait, like I need to send your parents a video. So I go to grab my phone. This is, God, iPhone definitely still had a home button. This was so long ago. It was like that chunky short iPhone that was only like this big. Probably the one that had the YouTube app on it built in, if you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, I'm like, wait, hold on, don't go yet, because I gotta get my phone. So I grab my phone and I start recording. And then I'm like, okay, go ahead. And they're smiling, and I almost said her real name, oh my God. Aura, the younger one, is like, it smells really bad. She's about to open her present. And I'm like, you know, I'm recording, so I'm like, oh, it's okay, like, we'll fix it later, just open your present. She's like, no, Riley, it smells really bad. And I'm like, just open your present, babe, because I'm recording, you know, and I'm like, God, just let me send this to the parents so I can feel like I did my job and also not forget, because I'm very forgetful. So I just wanted to make sure I got that video to them. So Aura has like a stank face because she says something smells. I'm not even trying to smell, I'm holding my breath, right? And as I'm recording, smiling, all of a sudden you hear a light bulb fizzle out. It sounded like a light bulb fizzing, and then you hear a light bulb like burst. Christmas tree lights, boom. Nightmare, ground zero, all the lights stop working at the same time. I'm like, great. So obviously I look over to the living room where the Christmas tree is, and I'm still like recording, I think. And I'm looking at it for a minute, just like, what the hell? And I think I see something out of my peripheral by the Christmas tree. So I'm really looking over there, and then I look back at my phone and it's not recording anymore. Okay, that's not the worst part though. The reflection of my phone, because you know, it's like the glass black screen. I see Bathsheba right behind me, and she was sitting, because I was sitting by the island, she's on all fours right behind me in the reflection of my phone. I start screaming, I'm freaking out. Poor girls, they see it. Well, Aura saw it too, because she looks behind me and she yells, Riley. And all these interactions were so long ago and they happened so fast. However, still remember them so vividly. We calm down. The girls end up, their presents were already like halfway kind of open as all this is happening. So I ended up telling the parents, I'm sorry, I tried to record it. Video didn't want to go today. It was not the day. I just let them open them peacefully, and then they both fall asleep. and I let them sleep in the same bed, because a lot of times I would allow that because the house was haunted as shit and it was terrifying. So I don't really care what the parents thought. They wanted them to sleep in their own rooms with the doors shut. I didn't care. I was overriding it. Girls are allowed to sleep in the same room. Your house is haunted as fuck. As I'm coming back into the living room area, finally get them to go to sleep, I swear I see something out of my peripheral vision, but I'm not looking again. I never want to look. These entities will try so hard to like get your attention by being so and scary, doing the creep arounds on the wall, the peekaboos, the peripheral vision. Like, they would just mess with you so much. But I'm not feeding into it this time, trying not to. So I'm walking back out, and then I'm looking at the Christmas tree, okay? This Christmas tree, basically the living room and the kitchen area, it's all one giant open room, if that makes any sense. It was a big room, but it was like the kitchen was here, and then the dining room, and then the living room was over there. And I'm just staring at the Christmas tree, so bewildered about what happened, because I made sure it wasn't the outlet. I plugged something else into it, and the outlet was working. There was no disconnect with the lights. Everything was plugged in. It was so odd how they just blew out. It was a brand new Christmas tree too. They just bought it that year, a pre-lit tree. Weird. So as I'm looking over there in that general direction, something catches my eye from the table. And I look over at the table, and I see Bathsheba for a split second again, sitting at the end of the table, and like, what do they call it, like the king's chair or something, like the chair at the ends, like the solo chairs that sit at the end of each table. She's sitting at the far one closest to the sliding back door, and her hands are placed in front of her on the table, and with this hand she's feeling the wrapping paper on one of the gifts. Close my eyes, start praying, freaking out, open my eyes, she's gone. I remember vividly though, I didn't sleep because I was so terrified to go to bed. Because every time I had an encounter with that entity, it was always so intense, and it wasn't as common as Pete or the other entities I would see in the home, so she just really messed with me. And I remember I was miserable the next day on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because I hadn't slept. And that was one of my worst Christmases. But yeah, next time you are opening presents, or this, I don't know what that, did you guys hear that? Be careful opening your presents this year. And if your Christmas tree lights fizzle out, it's probably not the tree. You probably need to cleanse your home. That's all for now. Bye.
All right, I'm a little irritated. I'm actually very fucking irritated, and I actually hate bringing any of my personal business or personal issues to the internet, but now it's getting to the point where it's like, you're playing now, and you're scamming people, and I don't like this at all. So all this happened last week. I wanted my hair done for my birthday, and my birthday was on July 9th, and I couldn't go to my regular hairstylist. Like, my hairstylist, he's really good, and I could not go to him because, like, a schedule issue. So it's like, when he was available, I wasn't available. When he was available, yeah, so it's like, it was a schedule thing, so I couldn't go to him, and I needed my hair done in a specific time, and he was already booked up and busy. So it's like, okay, you know what? Let me just go find somebody else, like, if there's anybody I could possibly think of. Like, you know, TikTok, I search for people on TikTok all the time just to see if I can, like, get something in a short notice of time. Like, just, like, it wasn't even actually a short notice of time, but just get something in, you know? So I looked up this person. I think her name is Style by 9. I'm gonna put her thing up here. You'll see it. And I looked it up, and she came up and everything. And I seen that she was only charging $65 to do what I have in my head. Like, she was only charging $65 to do a medium boho knot in those braids. And I can tell, like, she charged out because she's a work from home person. So it's like, she's not in a salon. So it's like, okay, this is reasonable price. I don't mind doing this right now because it's like, and it's cheaper. So it's like, let me just go ahead and do that. So I booked with her on the 27th of June. No, I think it was a little bit earlier. Let me go back. So actually, I take that back. I booked with her on June 24th to get my hair done on July 4th. I booked her and everything, and her website says that it was $65 to get your hair done. You just gotta send in a $10 deposit. I was like, okay, so I scheduled that, and I sent her my $10 deposit for July 4th. And then, so we started talking a little bit and everything, and I asked her on July 4th, I asked her on June 27th if I am able to change my appointment to a later time, because I was supposed to come in at 11. I asked if I can come in at 3. She asked me, when's your next appointment? Like, when is your appointment? So you don't know when my appointment is. Okay. So I told her the day. I was like, July 4th at 3 p.m. And she said I could change. No, July 4th at 11 a.m. And she said I could change it to 3 p.m. She told me I could change it for July 4th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I changed it. So then she tells me 4 to 5 days later, oh, I just realized I won't be able to do your hair that day. I have to work at 4 p.m. How do you not realize you have to go to work unless you just got caught in? I don't know, whatever it is, but it's like you are changing. Okay, whatever. So I told her that's my only free day before my birthday. I won't be able to do any other day. And she was like, oh, and I asked her, are you able to do July 5th? She said no, she's going to be out of town for the 5th and the 6th. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, what about July 3rd after I get off of work? She said she could do it at 1:30 in the morning. So she wanted me to come at the end of July 2nd, early, 1 a.m. at 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, girl, I don't know you. I've never met you in a day of my life. I'm not going to come to your house at 1 a.m. in the morning. Like, I told you, no, I cannot do that. Like, no. So I told her I won't be able to do that and everything. And she said she won't be available until the 7th. I was like, okay, you know what? The 7th of July. I was like, okay, you know, let me see if I can switch some things around so I could try to, like, get my hair done, because I need my hair done for my birthday. Like, I need my hair done for my birthday. It's not a want, it's a need. So I was like, okay, let me see if I could try to do that. I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, are you able to do 7:30 p.m. on the 7th? And I'm gonna put all the messages and everything. I was like, are you able to do 7:30 p.m. on the 7th? She said, yes, she can do it. She can do it. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, if anything changes before the 3rd, please let me know. Because if that gives me enough time to see if I could try to find something else. Just see if I could try. She was like, yes, we're set. We're good. Okay. So then I asked her just for the remaining price, because I don't like to get up to people thinking they'd be like, oh, that's not the price. So I asked her, so the remaining price is $55. She was like, no, it's $65. I'm like, what? I asked you if it was supposed to be $65. You said yes. And then now all of a sudden it's $75 now. So you added an extra $10 on. And then she said, when did you book? I booked 2 weeks ago. And she was like, oh, well, that was only when I had my sale. So why didn't you just say that? I asked you, was it 65? And you said, yeah. Okay. So I'm texting her. This was all from June 30th through July 2nd. I'm texting her and everything. I asked her July 4th, a couple days before our appointment. I was like, hey, happy 4th. What's your forms of payment? No response. Text her again, July 5th. Hey, did you see my message? No response. And I'm like, okay. And then I text her the day of my appointment. I'm saying, hey, like, what's happening? Hey, what the fuck is happening right now? So it's like, at that point, I already texted my sister. My sister already got me booked with somebody else, because I'm literally like, I'm crying, like, I'm irritated and I'm upset, because, like, my birthday's in 2 days and I don't even have my hair done. And, like, I had an appointment with somebody else. And my sister, she already got me an appointment booked already. So it's like, okay, I'm not even gonna trip of it. I told this girl I want my deposit back. I don't give a fuck if it was $5, $2, $4. I don't give a damn. Give me back my deposit, because you're literally playing in my face at this point. No response. That was Wednesday, the day of my appointment at 9 a.m. I texted her yesterday, July 11th. I gave her 3 days, no response. I'm like, I'm trying not to do this to you. I really don't want to expose you like this, but it's like, you're playing with me now. So now I was like, hey, I know you've seen my message. I don't want to make this a bigger deal. Just send me back my deposit. She texts me back yesterday at 3:46 p.m. and she says, hey, I haven't had a chance to put money back on my Cash App. What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me? Like, just because you don't know, you took my money. And I said, I don't give a damn if it was $1.50. I don't know you. I've never met you a day in my life. Now at this point, I feel like you're scamming people now. Because it's like, I see her hair page. Her hair page, she does nice work. Like, she actually has hair on her page. Like, she does hair, but it's like, you changed the appointment time like 3 times. You changed the price and everything. And then when I'm asking you to, like, if you could do when I'm texting you, you're not responding for 3 days. And then you tell me, when I'm telling you I want my money back, you telling me that, I don't have the money on my Cash App card. Okay? At this point, you know what? Just keep the money. At this point, keep it. I don't even want it no more, because it's been over a week since I've been asking you for this money. At this point, keep it. this is what you wanted, and I'm gonna give it to you now. And whatever happens after this, happens after this. I do not care. It's out of my hands. You should have sent me back my money, but hey, it is what it is.
This is a message for United Airlines and also a story time because I need to share with the world how you royally fucked me and my husband on our way to our honeymoon a few weeks ago. So not only did we pay $2,000 for these flights and never made it to our final destination, we also had to rent a car and pay $400 to drive to where our final destination was because your employee canceled our flights. And since you're so unhelpful and your customer service is so unreachable, our only option is for me to light your ass up on the internet and hope that that actually gets you to reimburse us for your incompetent employees. I have my iPad here so I don't miss anything, but I am really frustrated. So bear with me, I'm gonna try to be as concise as possible. Here's our original itinerary. I need to take you down memory lane for a second before I get to the good stuff. We were supposed to fly out of Pittsburgh on Sunday, June 14th. Our original travel plan was Pittsburgh to DC, DC to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Pula. Sunday, we get to the airport. Our flight keeps getting delayed because of weather. No big deal because our connecting flight was also getting delayed because of weather. Okay? We wait at the Pittsburgh airport for 5 to 6 hours. Finally, our flight gets canceled because the plane that was coming to get us sat on the tarmac for 45 minutes and then found out they had a hydraulic issue. That's fine. I don't want to fly on a plane with a hydraulic issue. Whatever. At this point, it's after midnight and we had to rebook. And the United agent, he was very nice. He said, unfortunately, I have to add a flight to your itinerary in order to get you guys there the quickest. We're like, no problem. So our new travel itinerary was Pittsburgh to DC, DC to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Zagreb, Zagreb to Pula. Well, when we get our boarding passes from him, the only flight that we did not have seats for was the Zagreb to Pula flight. And we have traveled enough that we know if you do not have seats, that probably means you're waitlisted. But this worker assured us that on his computer, it was showing that we had seats on that flight and it would update. But since he just did it, that's why it wasn't on our digital boarding pass. We were sus, but also it was approaching 1 o'clock in the morning and we had to be back at the airport at 8 a.m. So we're like, let's go to the hotel. We can figure it out tomorrow. We have a 5-hour layover in DC. Okay. So my husband, the next day, once we get to DC, feeling uneasy about it, he's like, let me contact United customer service. Of course, nobody wants to talk to us in person, so they hand us a card. So he has to call somebody. He consents to his call being recorded. He talked to someone twice. He consents to both calls being recorded. The first girl that he talked to said, you have flights on your Zagreb to Pula flight. Don't worry about it. She was very nice and helpful, assured him that it was fine. Well, a couple hours go by and he's like, I'm still feeling kind of uneasy about this. I'm gonna call again just to make sure. So he calls again, consents to his call being recorded, and the girl says, hey, actually, I found an option for you guys to just leave from Frankfurt and get to Pula. So now you don't need your Zagreb flight. I said, perfect, book us on it. She says, let me put you on hold. Then she gets back on the phone and says, ugh, bad news. In the time that it took me to do this, someone bought one of the seats. So now you have to do your original travel plan. Although we were a little excited about that, we said, whatever. He's like, that's fine. As long as we get there, just put us back on the original travel plan. Okay. So we make it to Frankfurt and our DC to Frankfurt flight was delayed a little bit. So we were getting there probably like an hour and a half later than we were supposed to, but we had 2 hours between landing and our connecting flight. Passport control took a really long time. So we sprinted once we got through and made it to our gate within 5 minutes. So we're huffing and puffing and we're like, we're here. They scan our boarding passes. Oh, they don't exist. We don't have seats on the flight. And we're like, what? Bless these Frankfurt workers because they immediately picked up the phone, started calling people. They were trying to figure it out and get us on the flight because there were seats, but our boarding passes were not valid and we were not on the list of passengers. So they tried everything they could and they're like, we have to close the gate. Like, we're so sorry. Like, you need to go over to this desk. So we go up to this desk and the guy's very nice and helpful. Not a United worker. He pulls up our stuff and he's like, oh, that's weird. It says here canceled. So that means that whatever worker was helping you rebook these flights, either one, canceled it themselves, or two, let it time out and it automatically canceled. So that's why we weren't on the flight log, because the United worker canceled our fucking flights. So this guy tells us we have to leave where we're at, go to where they check bags at the United desk at the Frankfurt airport, and a United worker will rebook us. So we get there and that woman says the same thing. She can see it canceled. She can see it on the computer that that's what happened, okay? And she's so apologetic. Both of them were like, I have no idea how they could have messed this up so bad for you guys. So this woman says, if you guys want to fly into Pula, the earliest you're gonna get there is around midnight tonight on Tuesday, June 16th. We did not book anything expensive or like crazy on our trip until Wednesday, June 17th, because we're like, there's no way we would miss something on Wednesday. So this United worker says, what I would recommend doing is I could get you on the next flight to Zagreb, you rent a car, drive the 3.5 hours to Pula. And she's like, I'll put in the notes that United needs to reimburse you for the rental car because this is on them. And so we're like, screw it, let's do that. That gets us there at like 6 o'clock. Then we can like shower, you know, whatever. So we go on our trip. We're like, we'll deal with this when we get back. So I posted an Instagram story on June 16th and said, we are never flying United again. Worst airline travel experience ever. I can't even explain the mess we've had to fix ourselves because of this airline and their incompetence. We now have to rent a car and drive 3 hours to get to our final destination in Croatia after 3 days of travel when our original travel plan was only going to take 12 to 15 hours. They answered me, okay, and they asked for the confirmation number. I gave it to them and they said, looks like it was due to weather. It wasn't. It was due to your incompetent employees, okay? So then I went through and gave them all the reasons why it wasn't due to weather, and then they changed their tune real quick and said, I understand your concerns and how frustrating this experience must have been. If you're seeking reimbursement, the next best step is to contact our customer care team. Well, guess what? We did that. I need to calm down. So then my husband tries to contact somebody. Of course, he can't talk to an employee. He has to do it all online because why would you be able to talk to a person? Says that we absolutely need reimbursed for the rental car, obviously. And he did the math and said, because of the mess that they caused for us and the time that we missed on our trip and just like all the inconvenience, we deserve to be reimbursed for a percentage of what we paid because we paid $2,000 for flights that didn't get us to where we needed to be. So my husband submits a claim and then we wait over a week and he finally gets a response back and they said, please accept our sincere apologies for the disruption to your travel plans and for the delay in reaching your final destination. We never made it there. We had to drive ourselves. We regret that operational issues led to a misconnection and that the rebooking process did not provide the smooth experience you deserved. Yeah, because your worker fucking canceled our flight. We understand how frustrating it must have been to receive conflicting information regarding your itinerary and then encounter further difficulties with your onward travel in Frankfurt. We also recognize the inconvenience of arranging alternate transportation and covering additional expenses in order to complete your journey. Arriving significantly later than scheduled understandably affected your travel experience, and we're sorry for the stress and uncertainty that this situation caused. Let's find out if they really are sorry. I researched the details of your trip and found that your flight was delayed and that the rebooking process did not go as expected. Although we were unable to reimburse out-of-pocket expenses such as alternative transportation and meals, I would like to offer each of you an electronic travel certificate in the amount of $150 each. Do you think that we're ever fucking flying with you again after this mess? $400 out of pocket to drive to get, because like God forbid we're like, no, let's wait for the flight to Pula and then it gets delayed and then we would miss our really expensive boat day that we booked for Wednesday, because who in their right mind would think that the travel could get so messed up that you don't make it there by Wednesday when you're supposed to leave on Sunday? So sorry, let me continue. You may use this certificate toward the purchase of future United or United Express flights. Additionally, we have submitted a refund request and blah, 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 to determine if a refund applies for any unused segment. Our refund team is currently reviewing the case and you can expect to be contacted within 7 to 14 business days, blah, blah, blah. So first Sarah. First, Sarah says that they can't reimburse us. Well, then she says that they submitted a claim. So can you or can't you? Well, my husband looked it up and apparently in United's, like, I don't know if it's their information or something. He's the one that did it, not me. It says that you can be reimbursed for this stuff. So he decides to get a hold of somebody today. Well, this girl was very helpful and she saw that it was not weather, it was not anything out of anyone's control that messed our flights up. She saw that it was the fault of their employees. So she said, unfortunately though, it has to be transferred to like a different department because our flight from Frankfurt to Zagreb is like a different airline, but that had nothing to do with the issue. The issue was all United flights. My husband, obviously frustrated, is like, well, that doesn't help us. And she said that once you get transferred to that department, the typical response time is 6 to 8 weeks. That's awesome. 6 to 8 weeks? He's like, there has to be someone that I can talk to. So she finally transfers him to a customer support team, which, and this is no shade, it's like some office in whatever country, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Okay, like, I'm not being a dick. Like, that's what it is. So he's like fucking perfect. Like, I can't even talk to the person that responded to my email. So he talks to this person, another one, and she's like, oh, I actually can't connect you to another person because your case has been closed. Our case has been closed? That's so crazy because we actually didn't figure this out yet. So while he's on the phone, she's like, typically what happens is, like, if you have an open case, we can transfer you to the person who's handling your case or like someone in their department. But Sarah closed our case, so she doesn't have the ability to do that. So I don't know what the deal is because Sarah did say that she submitted a refund request. But if you submitted a refund request, then why would you close our case? And do you really think that a $150 flight voucher is gonna fix any of this mess when there is proof? Like, my husband consented to being recorded on 2 separate phone calls. We had a worker from a different airline that wasn't United see that it was the United employee that canceled our fucking flight. Then we had a United worker tell us that she could see that it was a different United worker that canceled our fucking flight. And she put in the notes that we need reimbursed for the rental car. So clearly you guys can do that, because why would your employee tell us that we could be reimbursed if we can't be reimbursed? Do you see where my fucking issue is here? All that to say, somehow United saw my Instagram story and responded to it. So I'm hoping that I can get their attention and they can do something about this, because we paid $2,000 for these flights there. Just there. We didn't even make it to our final destination. We had to rent a car to make it to our final destination. So it was our first time ever out of the country. And then we had to drive in a different country. And then your workers are telling us that you can't be reimbursed, but we're gonna give you a travel voucher that doesn't even equal the cost of the fucking rental car. As if you think we're ever gonna fly with you again. So yeah, my husband did email Sarah back and went through all of this stuff, but I'm upset. And I think that getting attention on this is going to do way more than going back and forth with whatever customer service we can, because it's really hard to reach you guys. I know that your customer service is hard to reach because you guys probably hope that people will just get frustrated and so beaten down that they say, whatever, I don't want to deal with this anymore. But you never met me and my husband, and we're not like that. If this doesn't get your attention, we're gonna be submitting claims every week. He's prepared to block time off on his calendar once a week just to keep coming at you guys until you fucking listen to us. Because if this was weather or a plane issue, whatever. I don't want to get on a plane that's broken. I don't want to fly in weather that is dangerous. That's no problem. I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is your employees helping us on a recorded line, letting the session time out, and then our flight being canceled. That's that. And I have no shame. I'll keep making these videos too until it gets your attention. If my Instagram account with under 2,000 followers can get your attention just from one simple story, I'm sure I can get your attention on here. And I just am so happy to share with the public how incompetent your workers are and how you treat people that spend thousands of dollars on flights. It's so nice, isn't it? Yeah, so you mess with the wrong people, and we will be coming at you until this gets figured out. So thanks so much.
Time for a dating story. Also, dating as a Catholic in this world is impossible. So Catholics don't believe in having sex before marriage. And imagine telling a guy you're going on a date with that you don't believe in doing that. Like 90-something% of the men will disappear. So that's one thing I have to continuously deal with. So I matched with a guy on Raya, and he was very intentional. Most guys on Raya just don't even start a conversation, or they don't continue the conversation. You don't live in the same cities, so it's just no one has the motivation. But this guy was like immediately starting a conversation. He maintained the conversation, and then we were like really hitting it off. We were really aligning on a lot of things. So we got off the app, started texting, And we're like, for like a whole couple days, like day or two, we were like really aligned on everything about what we want in life, like marriage, kids, like just going more into depth than you usually do. And he was like very straightforward. It was like very masculine. I don't usually see that in the dating world with like men just going after what they want, saying what they want, and telling you what they like about you, like just very direct. And I was just like, wow, like just that alone, I was like, that's very masculine, love that. And I'm like, this is great, right? Then he asked me the dreaded question, which I didn't realize how much dread I had around it until I experienced this connection, because I'm so excited about this connection. But I did learn that his faith wasn't as strong. Like, he grew up Christian, he wants to raise his kids Christian, but it didn't seem like his current faith was like very strong. So that was the first sign, right? So the question he asked is, do you have any like non-negotiables or like boundaries with dating? Good question. Gosh, I was dreading to answer this because I'm like, well, if he doesn't have a strong faith, then he probably won't believe the same thing that I do. But I eventually texted it to him and I said, yes, I don't believe in moving in with someone before marriage, and I don't believe in having sex before marriage. That led to like 2-3 days of us going back and forth, like only talking about this. And so I think he had been like thinking about it for a couple of days of like, is that something that I could actually do, or is that something that maybe she would budge on? And it was like a back and forth. And then eventually I sent him on the third day like a voice note, and I was like, hey, like, and mind you, this was something that I was like also praying about and like trying to seek God's like wisdom again on this, because I'm like, this is a guy that I'm like really hitting off with. I haven't even met him, but like this would be like an ideal dating situation. And if I just sleep with my boyfriend, I would probably be in a relationship and probably married by now. But because of the sex part, there's a lot of relationships that I have lost the opportunity with because of that aspect. And it did feel like he really liked me, so it was like really hard for him. Like, you could tell he was grappling with the situation, and it was like hard for him to kind of like let me go, because it was like one piece that we couldn't change, and I also didn't want to let him go. Usually I'm like, okay, like if our values don't align, like whatever. But when you meet someone that you like, you know, you're just hitting it off, and it's like hard to find that, right? Like, especially in today's world, like it's hard to find that connection that we like initially had. And so we were both like not wanting to let each other go, and it was all over this one Christian belief. And so eventually he heard my voice note, and he said that he could not imagine like being in a serious relationship, like being committed to someone like that without like being able to have that aspect to the relationship. And so I was like, I understand. And I told him like, people do it all the time. Like, I know people that waited to have sex before marriage, and now they have like children, a beautiful family. And so I think there's 2 ways to do it. I believe this is the right way because God says this is the right way. And during those like 2-3 days that we were going back and forth, I feel like God like confirmed and reassured me that this is your dignity we're talking about. Like, there are ways to build connections and bonds with people without the physical aspect, without getting that intimate physically. And if you think about it, with men, like some of the strongest bonds that they have are with people they've never had sex with. So it's absolutely possible to have that emotional connection and figure out that compatibility without that physical aspect. You can connect emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You can really build a strong foundation without that physical aspect. And that physical aspect is so intimate, and it's supposed to be like the dessert after dinner, like wait to have the dessert after dinner, and the dinner is marriage. I also think it's cool that like God reminded me that it's a way to practice fidelity with the person that you're dating that you intend on marrying, which I've never seen it that way. It's like, I'm in my mid-30s. You would think I would have like talked about, like, heard about this, but I don't think people talk about that aspect a lot, like, as Christians, is that you're actually practicing fidelity during those months leading up to the marriage, whether it's a year or however long you're waiting for. And I think that's a beautiful thing to practice together, because when you do get married and there are situations like postpartum or illness or you have an accident, I don't know, anything could happen where you can't have sex for a prolonged amount of time, you are going to have a stronger relationship that is based on other things outside of sex. So anyways, I think it was kind of a beautiful thing for God to kind of guide me through that and reassure me. And now I don't feel like I would dread that question. Now I'm like a lot more upfront about it. Like, I will be more upfront in my dating profiles. Before I even meet a guy, I will ask, if they agree with those values. Before I even waste my time and see the person like on a date, I just want to know if we have the same values or not. And I think that's gonna make things a lot easier. And this is just a video to encourage you, if you're a Christian girl with those beliefs, no matter how old you are, to stick to your values and your beliefs. And even if it's hard, like if you really like somebody, don't let them, pressure you or redirect you to, a different path. Like if you really feel convicted on your values, and it's because God designed it that way to protect you, like it's designed that way for a reason, I think it's beautiful to honor that. And I think we will find the right person to end up with, basically. And I think the wait is worth it. I think the wait is totally worth it. And again, we're talking about our dignity here. And so I don't think you need to physically be intimate with someone to build that strong connection and foundation with them.
Last night, I found myself in a bathroom at a restaurant with a woman who was bawling her eyes out. And she had run into the bathroom after I was already in there. As I was leaving, I said to her, "Hi, friend. I'm a safe space. Are you okay? Do you need anything? How can I help you?" She said, "I'm okay." I said, "Are you safe? Can I help you?" She said, "I'm okay." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go outside. I'm in a blue dress. I'm sitting across the restaurant. Please know I'm a safe space if you need anything." I left because, I was trying, respecting people's boundaries. I literally had no context to what happened. Start to leave the room. As I'm walking back to my table, I see someone sitting at a table looking around very impatiently, angrily. I get to my table, and in my head I'm pondering, how am I, I didn't want to leave this bathroom. How am I leaving this bathroom without helping this woman? My heart was just breaking for her, no matter what was happening, whatever situation it was. Grief, broken up with, whatever, I see this man sitting at the table angrily. In my brain, I'm like, absolutely not. I grab my purse, I go back to the bathroom, and I say, "Hi, friend, it's me again." Asked, "Can I come in?" She let me in the stall. I held her hand and I said, I don't feel comfortable leaving you in here right now. I'm sorry, if I'm overstepping. I saw someone out there who I think that you're with. Are you safe right now? And she could not tell me, "Yes, I'm safe." And I said, "I don't feel comfortable leaving you alone. Is there anyone that we can call to come pick you up? What's happening? How can I help you?" And she just was panic attack. I was just calming her down every 10 minutes. Every time someone walked in the bathroom, immediate panic. She was unwell. And I was just reminding her about what she deserves and all this stuff, and, how this isn't right and whatever. And honestly disassociating, I blacked out, just getting so pissed. Generations of women who have experienced abuse. And I said something along the lines to her of we're at a place where we don't have to accept this anymore, and you get to say no. You get to choose yourself. We have options, and I'm here to help you. I told her. She said, "I didn't even want to go out to dinner. He dragged me here." I said to her, there's a reason that you're here right now. There's a reason that we met in this bathroom. And you know, eventually she worked up the courage to share with me that she does have someone she can call, and it's, you know, I'm not going to share too much information about her, but it's someone who can extremely help the situation. So I felt very safe leaving her with this person. So we called him and he came to pick her up, and, you know, I mean, I'm like still very much unwell, I feel like, from it all, and it's obviously not even happening to me. But this is just really me saying that if you see someone in need of help, we are human beings. Help this person. If someone is bawling their eyes out in the bathroom, have compassion. Ask if they need something. I can't stop thinking about how many other ways last night could have worked out for this woman. You know, who knows if she's safe, but she's safe for last night. I know that for sure, and I know that it's being handled now, at least, and there are actions being taken. But women deserve life. We deserve safety. We deserve peace and happiness and love and sunshine and all of the amazing things. We do not deserve abuse. We do not have to stand for this anymore. And when we're in situations like this where we have people in power who are abusers, it's so important right now more than ever to be fucking human and to ask someone what's wrong and to support women and children and people, good people. So yeah, I guess this is all to say, if you see something, genuinely say something. You never expect to be in this situation until you are. And I'm sending all my love to this person and other survivors of abuse, because it's not fair. You should not have to be strong, but you fucking are. And I love you, and you are not alone.
I'm going to come on here and do a laying down story time for my event planning audience here, because I feel like this is really relevant and I really feel like this needs to be talked about. Basically, I'm coming on here with a wedding horror story. Not my wedding. I will preface that. This is for my friend. I'm going to call her Rachel. I know she would never do this, and I'm going to do it for her, because what happened and the vendor that she used needs to be avoided at all cost. Because the experience has been truly horrific with her wedding photographer, who I'm going to call Joe. I'm going to start off by saying I was a bridesmaid in Rachel's wedding. I was not the wedding vendor. But as you know, I do wedding planning and social planning, event planning on the side. So I feel like it's really relevant to some of the people that I work with. And I wanted to share this experience. But basically, I'm going to give you a view of the day and then what has happened since. The day of the wedding, we all get there to the wedding venue. It was great vibes. It was literally the best weather that day, maybe a little warm, but it was great. Everyone's spirits were high, bridesmaids, hair and makeup team, everyone was great. Everyone was starting to look so beautiful from the hair and makeup team, and that was around the full day. And then around 2 p.m., the photographer showed up. I will say, like, from the beginning, I very minimally interacted with her when she first got there, but I will say she seemed very frazzled. She never came in and introduced herself. I feel like a lot of photographers usually come and introduce themselves, at least to the bride and the bridesmaids, like, hey, I am Joe, and I'm going to be your photographer today. So, hey, like, let's have fun. Like, it's usually, like, very good vibes. She came in, she was taking flat lay photos, doing her job. Honestly, I paid her no mind until we were coming to the end of hair and makeup, and she walks in the room full of the bridesmaids, the mother of the bride, the mother of the groom, hair and makeup, and basically tells the bride that she will not have any time for getting ready photos. She basically says that there is no time, because the first look is supposed to be at 2:00 for the bride to get, you know, her pictures of her getting in her dress, her mom zipping her up, her sister, her maid of honor, none of that, and none of the bridesmaids photos of us in our pajamas that the bride had requested. With all that to say, she says it very aggressively, and I don't want to, like, mock her because I don't want to get it wrong, but it was basically, like, in front of everyone, bluntly saying, hey, you don't have time for these, you're behind schedule. Very bluntly says this, and rudely, and makes the bride cry. I mean, naturally, like, I would have been really frazzled myself as a bride. was very inappropriate in the moment. The way she spoke to her, the way that she offered no solution of, we can take some for a quick 10 minutes, nothing. So the wedding vendor that I am, bridesmaid I am, maybe I'm the more abrasive bridesmaid, I went up to her to the side and not in front of the bride and said, hey, if you have a problem with timing or you have something negative to say, anything of the sorts like that, you're there, we are actually behind schedule, you can come find me. Like, this is my name. I do this on the side, but there's also a wedding planner here that's been hired to do this. So come find one of us, like, instead of going to the bride and bluntly saying, hey, I'm not going to be taking getting ready photos of you. So I proceed to say, what time is the first look? Why are we behind schedule? I really have not tracked time at this point. The first look's at 2, she says. I look at my phone, it's 2:01. If you're a wedding planner, you've been in a wedding, you've been a bride, you know, like, that's great timing. We had 15 minutes to get the getting ready photos. I truly still do not understand at this moment, but she had already ruined the moment. I mean, she really had the bride lose out on some very special photos she could have gotten just by being frazzled over like a 10-minute period of time. I don't have any insight into the next part because I was not present, but I do know that this proceeded to go into the first look and private vows that the bride and groom then did. The videographer that was there had proceeded to put a microphone on the groom. Obviously, she was going to record the private vows. This was on video. This is where the photographer proceeded to basically, and I really want to mock her like way she spoke, but I just don't want to do it and do it incorrectly, but she did not speak nicely. And I'm assuming that's how she spoke in this moment, was basically like, I'm not going to be editing out the microphone, so I suggest not leaving it on. And I guess there was some bickering back and forth, and I hesitate to say bickering because I really don't think the videographer had any stake in the game here. Like, she was very kind, great. I think she was just trying to stress the importance of the microphone in the moment, but the photographer just kept saying, like, I'm not editing this out. This will stay in the pictures, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she was being very, very hard to work with by everyone there at this point. I honestly didn't talk to her the rest of the night. I don't have any insight to the rest of the night, but I do want to flash forward to the past couple weeks where the bride did get her wedding album. So her wedding just was like not that long ago, and I think she got the pictures in 3 to 4 weeks. So for me, for you to get like almost 1,000 pictures in your wedding album fully edited in 3 to 4 weeks shows a lack of care, laziness. I truly, like, I've never, like, I know, like, some photographers are quick and that's great, but to me, if you are filming multiple weddings and different shoots, like, that is abnormally quick, and it just kind of shows me a lack of care. But immediately upon getting the photos, there is red flags everywhere. I'm going to give you a couple of specifics. One was there was no editing out of any like very obvious objects that could have easily been edited out in the photos. One of them being the microphone during the first look and vows. The next being like the stand microphone when you do your first kiss after they announce you as husband and wife. Another is the like memory table, the tables, you know, the guest tables, the welcome sign. A bunch of them had a couple of things that were falling over, like the welcome sign was falling over. The memorial table had its sign falling over. Some of the napkins were displaced due to wind. If you're a wedding planner, again, you know this happens all the time. Wind is like the number one enemy at a wedding. It is so easy to pick things up, though. It takes 2 seconds and make them correct. The wedding photographer took a picture of everything completely fallen over. There was no corrections, nothing. The last thing I will note is the actual like coloring of the photos and I'm not a photographer, but like the presets of how she edited it makes no sense. The bride obviously wore a white dress. The groom was in a gray tux. In some of the photos, the bride's dress is now gray and the groom's tux is now white. How that happens, I have no idea. So of course the bride sends an email. If you know this bride, she's very kind. She's like the least aggressive person I know. She's never going to come at you. She basically was like, hey, I'm pretty upset. I don't like the editing here. Here's the errors. Bullet points them out and just says, can you fix them? Like, very kind. She also references like that she was supposed to get drone photos, and I think she got approximately like 2 in the whole album. I have no idea. But with all that to say, the photographer does write back. The photographer basically says that art is subjective, and that is her style, and she likes to capture the day as it is. Again, I'm not here to hate on anyone's art, But to me, my wedding planning is my art too, but I'm still going to pick up signs. I'm still going to correct napkins. I'm not going to edit the bride's dress or the groom's tux to be different colors. And I'm certainly going to try to my best for everything to look as beautiful as possible. She says she'll edit 25 pictures. Outside of that, she will charge her a fee. Basically shows no empathy. The entire email is about herself and defending herself. There is no reference to the bride and groom that this is their big day. Flash forward to this week, the bride gets an email from Joe's assistant, not Joe herself, but her assistant, because Joe's sick, that she has lost all the film photos from the wedding due to a shutter malfunction. Just wanted you to sit with that. Seems coincidental that every film photo from this wedding was lost due to a shutter malfunction. There's no offer of reimbursement. There's no offer of how to make things better. There's nothing. There's basically nothing of how to make this better. She just basically keeps harping on that this is her art. She didn't promise X. She didn't promise Y. I say all of this, and I'm going to post this on my page here because, like, wedding vendors, it's so important to me that you know someone that has a good review of them. And I say that even as, like, this bride, Rachel, she even had a good experience with her in her engagement photo. So I actually don't know how she could have prevented this, but you have to research so deeply some of your wedding vendors. And it may seem so silly, but one vendor could really ruin your day. It can leave a bad taste in your mouth about your big day. And if you are a wedding photographer, I've never met one that acted like this. I've never met a wedding vendor in general that acted like this, but please, like, keep this in mind when you're working with clients. And I'm just baffled, and I hope people from my area do not use this wedding photographer.
When I was 14, my mom let a 26-year-old man come into my house after he stalked me and followed me home. And this is how that happened. I want to start by saying that my mom is a narcissist. She's a covert narcissist, and we are no contact and have been no contact for many years now. But she had a tendency of always trying to, like, slut shame me. She would procure all of the sluttiest clothes that I could possibly fathom. She'd buy them for me, pick them out for me. She'd photograph me in them. And that is another story for another day. But my mom loved to slut shame me, although she was not raising me and I was completely a latchkey kid and nobody was watching me. It was summertime. I was 14. I went to go meet my friend. We were going to go to the elementary school so that we could go play on the playground because we were children. So we're walking through the neighborhood and a beater car rolls up next to us and the window rolls down, and it is a definitely much older man than us. And if you were a kid that was raised in an unsafe environment, especially around men like I was, I immediately knew that this man was far too old to be talking to and immediately unsafe. The fact that he's rolling down his window to holler at 14-year-old girls was the first warning sign, obviously. He was, full beard, clearly much, much older, and he proceeds to try to talk to us. I'm immediately shutting that down. Like, no, my friend is kind of entertaining it, talking to him, told her name, where I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. So we kind of just shrug him off carefully and wander on our way. We get to the elementary school, and about 15 minutes later, this man comes walking up to us on the swing set. So he found out where we went. I don't know how. And he came up to us and he starts talking and he's like, what's your name? What school do you go to? How old are you guys? And I don't know, looking back, I probably was more of fawning than anything, but I didn't give him my name. I didn't tell him what school I went to. I was smart enough to know that. And then he leans in to try to kiss me on the swing set, and I am freaking out, of course. And the first thing that I do is, instead of running away, for whatever reason, I climbed up on top of the monkey bars and I sat on the top of them so that I could get away from him. And I sat up there, and my friend sat up there until he decided to leave. He's like, okay, well, bye. Like, did not get the fucking message. I'm not sure how clear I was, but he's a grown-ass adult, so he should know, right? So I go home quickly. A couple days go by. We think everything is good, right? I'm like, I kind of probably forget about it. And the weekend comes and my mom is home. Like I said, she worked through the weekdays. I was spending a lot of time wandering around, doing my own thing, rollerblading, riding my bikes, hanging out with my friends. I really didn't have anybody with eyes on me. My sister was home, but she was also very busy, and she's only 2 years older than me and was not fucking watching me. So I'm taking a shower in the morning and I hear our dog barking, and I come downstairs and there's just like a weird energy in the house. Something is weird. So I come into the room, in the living room, and sitting on my couch is that exact man. He's just sitting there with my mom. And my mom's like, Kimberly, your friend's here. My fucking friend. What the fuck? And I'm like, I think I'm dumbfounded. I'm scared immediately that he's in my house. I'm thinking, how the fuck did he figure out where I lived? Because it's like we walked a ways to the elementary school. It wasn't like it was, you know, right up the street. Like, I'm thinking, how did he know where I went? How does he know how to get in? Why did my mom let him in? Like, this is like such an old man. I don't understand. And my mom's like, now, Kimberly, you know you're only 14 and this man's 26. He is too old to be your friend. And I'm like, now, I'm not going to argue with my mom because I want this man out of my house. And two, my mom's not going to believe me. My mom was not going to fucking believe me. It did not matter what I fucking said. She was not going to believe me, and there was no point in arguing with her. And unless I wanted to start a full-on crazy fucking fight, there was no point. So I did not. I said, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's too old. Yeah. And she's like, okay, so you guys can't be friends, okay? Like, okay, yeah, we can't be friends. And she sends him out the door. The second he shuts the door, I'm like, Mom, that man fucking followed me home. And she's like, why were you talking to him? Don't do that. And I'm like, I fucking didn't, dude. He followed me. It was fucking weird. And I tell her the story, and she's like, obviously you did something. Like, obviously you were talking to him. He is too old for you to talk to. Don't you know he's too old for you? Okay, fine. So I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, Mom, whatever. I want to ask you guys, though, would you let a man of that age come in who, first off, what's he doing? Is he knocking on the door like, hey, my friend who's like a little girl, she lives here, can I come in? Like, what kind of deranged, like, psychotic man is like, I'm gonna go knock on the door of a child and just be like, she's my friend? Like, to this day, I don't know what he said to my mom. Clearly the word friend, like, oh, I'm friends with her, was used. But like, what? I have teenage children, and I'm going to tell you right now, I would not have let anybody like that come into my house. Not one fucking person. And I don't fucking know this guy's name. I've never saw him again, but I was fucking scared for so long walking home. I was so fucking scared. It was really scary for a long time. And I still think about that. And all I can think about is what kind of fucking mother lets a man like that in her house. And my mom was a single mom, by the way. There were no men in our house. There was nobody to protect us. My mom didn't own a gun. Like, what was she thinking? Not about me, that's for fucking sure.
All right, you guys. I'm going to give you all the juice on my age gap relationship since I have just recently officially moved in to my boyfriend's place. Those who know me, or I guess follow me on Instagram, probably know that I am in a bit of an age gap relationship. We met when I was 19 and when he was 28. And I am about to turn 21 and he's about to turn 30. Also, we have the same birthday. We're one day apart. Isn't that nice? I don't know. I feel like that's a sign. But anyways, since I've just recently moved in, I figured I would give you guys the juice on our money dynamic, okay? Because that's what you really care about. Is he a predator? Am I a gold digger? No. But I will break down the bills and the structure of that. So because I just recently moved in, mortgage falls on him and always will. He pays the mortgage, he pays all the utilities, everything like that. I don't even know how much it is. I don't know what they look like. I never touch a bill, I never will. So there's that. When it comes to the house and keeping up with it, I do all the cooking. I do all the grocery lists. I take care of meal prepping, meal planning, anything of that sort. That all falls on me, and I don't mind. I do all the cleaning. If the laundry needs to be done, I do it. Now, this is not being said as I'm the only one who does it. If he sees the laundry needs to be done, if he says,
if he sees a dishwasher needs to be started, he will do it. That's never an argument for us, but primarily I take care of those things and he pays for it all. Usually I make the grocery list, I send it to him, he goes and gets it. It's never an issue. But again, if I am out and if I'm grabbing, you know, a drink or something, I will pay for him to get one. I do work and I always will work until children are involved. I will say marriage is our end goal. We do talk about marriage a lot and engagement in this upcoming year. So it is a serious relationship. I don't want you guys to feel like, you know, I'm playing with my life here or anything like that, or if it's just, we're just fooling around. It's nothing like that. It is very serious. So we do take a more traditional route, I will say. When it comes to trips, we do go on a few different trips. We do like to get out, you know. And when it comes to that, I do all the planning, I would say. I find where we're gonna stay. If we're doing hotel, Airbnb, I look at the restaurants around there, where we're gonna eat, stuff like that. And he will pay for it. He pays for the tickets, he pays for the place. Any food or activities we do while we are there, he will take care of. Any trinkets or souvenirs I want to get, he will take care of. So that's that. If he needs me to drop off an Amazon package for him, if he needs me to do anything like that, I will do it. If he needs appointments made, if he needs things picked up, dropped off, shopping done, I will take care of that, and I don't mind. You may wonder, well, if you work and he works, how does that work? I do work part-time though. Usually I get done at 2 o'clock, and then 2 days a week I will get done at 12:30. So I do have a lot of time on my hands, and I don't mind helping my man out, and the shopping sprees are worth it. So there's that. What I spend my money on would usually be, like, if I'm driving around and I want to get Starbucks or something like that, I would use my money for it. If I'm out shopping, anything that's kind of small, knickknacks or like a few clothing items, I usually will buy myself. He does send me money for shopping. He does send me money for food, anything like that if I do ask. But I do work and I enjoy using the fruits of my labor. So there are a lot of things I do pay for personal wise. But like if he's at work, if he's stopping to get a coffee in that morning, usually he will send me coffee money as well. Or if he goes and picks out lunch out to eat for himself, he will usually send me money to do the same. But there are things that I spend my own money on. When it comes to my personal bills, I do still pay for them. I pay for my car, for my phone, and my insurance. Those are really the only bills I have. Any subscriptions I usually pay for. So there's that. When we do get married, that dynamic will kind of change. But for now, I like to have things that, you know, I don't necessarily depend solely on him for. Just for my peace of mind. You guys may ask, okay, well, if he's providing everything for you, if the place you stay is his place only, what would you do if you guys broke up? I will say, no, I don't think we will ever break up. Obviously, everybody may think that with their partner, but I really do think we'll be together for the long haul. But I do have backup plans if necessary. I am saving money while I do work. There are things that are in my name. Businesses and everything, so there is that. Also, my parents are very supportive. They love Will. They love our life together, and if things ever did go south and I needed a place to stay, I would usually probably stay at my parents' house if it came to that, until I got a place of my own. And I am lucky to have that. I know a lot of girls wouldn't necessarily have that, so it might be a little more riskier for them to kind of depend on a man financially. But for me, that's how it works. I see no issues. I'm not worried about anything. I do have my own money, and I do use my own money if it ever came to something like that. Okay, and since I brought up my parents and on the topic of that, a lot of people wonder, how do your parents feel about it? Especially your dad. I know a lot of girls that are like, if my dad thought I was with an older man, he would just kill me. That's not the case for me. My parents actually love Will. They were the ones rooting for him in the first place. Especially in the beginning, I would say I was more concerned with the age gap than they were. They love Will. They love Will for me. They think personality-wise and maturity-wise we're a really good match, and that I needed somebody a little more mature than who I had been seeing and people I had been going out with. So it just works great. They don't have any issues with Will. They love Will. They feel comfortable with me staying here, with me being with him. They trust him. There's really no issues. My dad loves him. They have a lot in common. They have a lot they love to talk about. They have matching trucks. So there's really no issue there. He fits in perfectly with our family. And yeah, there was no issues, and there really never was. I don't think they ever really cared about the dynamic. It wasn't like they didn't like him and then they got used to him. They liked him from the beginning, and it always has been that way. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's all that I can really think about when it comes to like questions and concerns I usually get. I'm sure there's more that's just not coming to my head right now. But I'm pretty sure that's majority of what people want to know and what people care about.
I just literally had the worst fucking date of my life. Like, I swear I have never been this embarrassed to be out with someone in public. And I'm sorry if this sounds like so, like, I think I'm better than everyone else. I don't. I promise this was just literally awful for me. Like, actually insanely awful. So, I had been talking to this guy over Snapchat, and, like, we were just texting and snapping. Like, I had never called him or nothing. Like, I didn't know how he sounded. I didn't know how tall he was or anything like that. I literally just saw his face. I saw his Instagram, and he looks really cute, right? He looks tall. He looks muscular. He has a really pretty face, okay? Okay. So, I walk into the restaurant that we're supposed to be meeting at. I'm still there. I'm in the parking lot right now. So, I walk into this restaurant, and I see a guy in the shirt that he was wearing in his snap. His back's facing me, and I swear to you, I don't know how old this man is, because he looked like a literal child. A literal child. Probably a little shorter than me, skinnier than me. Like, just, I was like, oh my god, this is a literal kid. I hope I'm not seeing anyone that I know here, because I'm so embarrassed right now. So I ran back to my car, and I called my mom. I'm like, Mama, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I really don't want to go in there. Like, I know a lot of people in this city, and I don't want to be seen with a child on a date where I look like this. Like, I look like I'm on a date. So I'm in my car for like 10 more minutes, and then I finally like built up the courage to go inside. My mom's like, just go, it's a free meal, like, just be nice and like just get through it, it'll be quick. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And he had like already had our table and everything, so I was just like, whatever, I need to do this. So I went in, I sat down. First of all, I'm from Louisiana. Nobody fucking sounds like this boy. He sounds like he's just super preppy frat boy, not from here. And that's just like a really big ick for me. Like, I'm not attracted to that at all. So that was just awful. Awful first impression, because he was just so awkward and weird. And I don't really remember the first conversation. I was like blanked out, because I was just like, oh my god, I'm so disgusted right now. He's wearing this like button up thing, like probably 3 of the buttons are like like whatever you call it, in the wrong thing. And that's just so disgusting to me. Like, did you not look in the fucking mirror before you went out in public on a date? That's just crazy. And then we're sitting and talking. I'm literally just talking normally, like, about things that I do with my life, you know. Told him that I'm in cosmetology school. He goes, what? Cosmetology school? What? What is that? I've never heard of that before. Okay. So I'm like, telling him about how I like to paint. And he was like, why do you like painting? And I was like, I don't know. It's like therapeutic. It's calming. And he was like, what does that mean? What is that word? I've never heard that word before. What? Oh my god. And it just like, it keeps going on and on. Like, he's telling me that I'm using big words, and he doesn't know what these words mean. What? And then, mind you, we're at a sushi restaurant. Sushi is in the name. He picked out this restaurant. Randomly, he goes, I've never had sushi before. I wonder what's in sushi. What? So we keep on talking. We're having a normal conversation finally. I'm like, okay, it's really not that bad. Like, I just need to lock in. And we're like talking normally. We're having a pretty normal conversation. And he stops, like looking around. He goes, hey, where's the bathroom? And like makes those eyes. I'm like, what the fuck? And so he gets up. He gets up to go to the bathroom, right? And he turns around and walks away. Dodo stains! Dodo stains on his fucking shorts! So I'm like, okay. Maybe he sat in something like, this can't be real. This can't be happening to me right now. This literally cannot be happening. So I'm just going to give him the fucking benefit of the doubt because I know you did not just shit your fucking pants. At your grown-ass age, you did not just shit your fucking pants in the restaurant. So I waited out. Like, let me just wait for the check. Let me just wait for this check because I feel awful. And so, while I'm waiting on the check, he's, like, still in the bathroom. And he comes out, still waiting on the check, and he's like, what do you want to talk about? I feel like I'm the only one making conversation here. Do you realize you just shit your fucking pants? Do you realize you just shit your fucking pants at dinner with me? I'm literally never dating again. I'm never going on another date. If I don't know you, I'm not going on a fucking date with you. I'm so...
Back to y'all with another story time. So recently I was coming home from the airport and I called a Lyft. I use Lyft more than Uber because I feel like I get better rates on Lyft. But anyways, called a Lyft and it said his name was Pablo and that he would be there in like 5 minutes. So the correct car pulls up, the correct plates. I did like a very quick glance and the plates checked out. This man helped me load my bag in and then I got in the car and then I was reading. I was really into my book, so I really wasn't paying that much attention. And then about halfway to Dallas, I kind of looked up at the driver and I looked at the picture of who was supposed to be driving me and it was definitely not the same person. Like, the person that was supposed to be driving me was probably in his 30s. No, the person that actually picked me up was probably like in his 30s, and the person that was supposed to drive me was way older, like had white eyebrows, old. And so then I was like, oh my God, I'm getting kidnapped. I'm about to be sold. Freaking sex trafficking. So then I was like, texted my friends. I was like, hey, I'm in a Lyft. The person that picked me up is not who was supposed to pick me up, but the car and plates are correct. And then I had planned a stop, and then the driver was supposed to drop me off at my place. And so when I got to the stop, I was like, hey, actually, I'm just going to stay here for a little bit. Like, can you get my bag out? And so he helped me get my bag out, and then I went in to go get my dog, and I told my dog sitter, and I was like, I need to stay here for a couple minutes until he leaves. So I filed like a claim with Lyft, and Lyft was like, oh, we're so sorry that happened to you. Like, thank you for letting us know. And then I sent them pictures of who the driver was and who was supposed to be there. And they literally responded and they were like, oh, wow, we're escalating this to our safety team right now. Like, this is a serious problem. And I was like, yeah. So luckily nothing happened. He did pick me up and drop me off where he was supposed to, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I think maybe it was someone who is not a legal resident, so he's working under someone else. Also the plates on the car were like temporary plates, like still metal ones, because Texas doesn't do like the paper tags anymore, but like it said temporary plates. So anyways, it was all sketchy. So use this as a reminder to check the car, check the plates, and check the driver. Because Lyft says that if the driver does not match his photo, you should not get in the car. And don't be all into your book like I was and forget. Don't forget to do your due diligence when you're getting into a car with a stranger and make sure that their picture matches who is actually picking you up in real life. And I'll post pictures of who was supposed to pick me up and who actually picked me up.
The other day, my friends asked me what the worst date I had ever been on was. Let me set the scene for you guys. I'm 19, I'm in New York, I'm on the dating apps. I match with this guy. We go out, we get dinner, it's great. Second date, he's like, come over to my apartment and we can cook dinner. I was like, cute, sounds good. Go over to his apartment. We cook dinner, it's great. We start watching a movie. He goes, have you ever taken a happy gummy, if you get what I'm putting down? It's like, no, actually, I'm not really into it. I've never tried it, whatever. And he's like, do you want to? Sit there, ponder it. Sure. Yes, let's do it. He takes one, I take one. We're watching this movie, 10 minutes go by. All of a sudden, my head is like feeling a little sparkly and the walls are swaying. So I get up and I'm like, can I lay down in your bed for a second? I'm not feeling too well. He's like, and I'm like, it will literally be a couple minutes. I just need to like regroup. He's like, sure. So I go lay in his bed. Woof. All of a sudden, I cannot move a single part of my body. Like, my head is a 10-pound bowling ball. He comes in, and I'm like, can you get me a glass of water? He looks at me, and he goes, no. Okay. And then I was like, can you grab me my phone? Because I had left it in the other room. He looks at me, and he goes, no. Okay. Now I'm hyper aware of my surroundings. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to die in an apartment in Midtown. This is how I go? So I'm like, okay. My heart starts beating. He goes back into the other room. I think he's going to come back in with a sword, and it's just going to be the end of me. He finally comes back in with my phone, and I was like, okay, thank God. He gives me my phone back. I immediately call an Uber. He's like, you're already leaving? What do you mean I'm already leaving? Yes! Get me the hell out of Midtown! Then he starts giving me a lecture about how I was super rude to come over and then just leave. And I'm sitting, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, you cannot make this shit up. Finally, the Uber gets here. I literally pull myself out of the third dimension or wherever I was in space, walk myself down to that Uber, and I never looked back. Why I did it, I don't know. But ladies, the thing that you should learn from this is never trust a man who has an apartment in Midtown. Number 2, don't ever do something stupid like that if you barely know the man. Anyways, at least I live to tell you guys this tale so you guys can learn from my mistakes. But I guess I hope he's well. ? Like, I don't really know what I wish for that man. I'm just glad that I just never spoke to him ever again. And that was the worst date I've ever been on. Dating in New York. What a thrill. What a time.
So basically, you have to be blonde and rich to be famous or get famous on this app.
Yesterday, all the apartments here got a note from the property manager about some rules that we're not following, or I don't know, notices, okay? And they've been pissing me off, so I'm here to share them now because I feel like it's getting out of hand. The point of it was to tell us that they put cameras in, right? And then they put all this shit about how it's for safety and blah, 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 blah. I don't think we need cameras. Whatever. Do your thing, right? Be safe. Meanwhile, I'm neighbors with the police station. We share a parking lot, the police station and the apartment, so I think we're safe, but whatever. Go off, right? And then they have the nerve to tell us not to hang our wet towels outside when they need to dry. Like when you're coming from the pool. Use the pool, don't hang your wet towel outside. That's kind of stupid, right? And I get the like, oh, it looks whatever you think it looks. People live here. It's gonna look like that, right? We live here. I can hang my towel outside to dry. I'm not listening to that, sorry. evict me. I'm putting my towel outside. It's gonna dry. I'll take it in when it's dry. Whatever, right? And then they try to say, oh, safety. To help maintain the safety of all residents, porch lights and back door lights must be turned on during evening hours. Are you paying my electricity bill? I'm gonna tell SDG&E to call you because I'm not turning that shit on. First of all, you can't tell me that I have to turn it on. Sometimes I do. Maybe if I wanted to. You're not gonna tell me that they have to turn them on. No. And then it gets real crazy, okay? This is the one that made me like, are they something wrong with them? Please keep your living room blinds closed enough so that your curtains are not visible through your apartment window from the outside. You can't see my curtains? You don't want to see my curtains? In addition, please remove any pictures, signs, or other items displayed in your apartment windows that are visible from the exterior of the property. Now you're telling me what I can't hang inside my house if they can see it outside. What? Anything? Not even like inappropriate thing? No, anything. Don't hang anything that can be seen outside. The window's big. Look how big that window is, okay? Don't open the blinds. No, I need sunlight. That's why I moved in here, because the window was big and beautiful and I need sunlight. I'm not gonna be in the dark. That's dumb. And then you know how many things would be visible from that window? The whole wall, if you're at the right angle. What? It's like, she's a Nazi, I swear. It's crazy. And like the other day, a couple weeks ago, some kids moved in, and like not a lot of kids live here. Like 2 families with the little kids moved in, right? And it was kind of cute. Like it's really quiet outside, and then this time there was kids, and they were playing around, and they were like riding their little scooters around, and they weren't like obnoxious. You could hear them, but it was like 4 p.m. right? And like by like 6 or 7 they were done and they were inside. They were just like after school playtime, right? And they were respectful, and like if they kicked the ball too close to you, they were like really sorry about it. They were picking up all their shit. They weren't like leaving a mess outside. And she put like a note around on all the doors saying that kids are not allowed to play outside in the apartments. The kids that live there are not allowed to play outside of their apartments. And I'd never seen the kids again. And I was so sad. It was so joyful hearing the little kids play outside, like summertime. And no. And I was like, and I don't have kids, right? It's just me and my boyfriend and my dog. And I was like, I'm about to put a fucking protest note on my door. Let the kids play. I'm gonna put a sign outside. Let the kids play. Leave them alone. If I was those kids' moms, no. You're not gonna tell me that my kids can't play outside. First of all, I didn't sign the lease and it didn't say that. So don't tell me anything that's not on my lease. And then one time we heard her and the kids were outside and they were like on their little scooter, and there was like 2 little boys and they were like chit-chatting, shooting the shit. And she like, oh, hey boy, it's so fake, hey boys. And they're like, oh, hi, you know, respectful. And she's like, I think maybe you should ride your scooter across the street at the other, like there's like a building over there, like a public building. There's like grass over there. You can go ride your scooter over there and like play over there. And the little kid's like, no, my dad doesn't really let me cross the street. He wants me to stay in the apartments on our block. No shit. Why would you tell a little ass kid to go by himself across the street? You're not his parent. You're gonna go watch him? No. Let him be. They're not doing anything to you. She like wants it to look like nobody lives here. And it's crazy. And I don't even know if she doesn't own the apartments, right? It's like a management company, a real estate people, and then she just manages it because she lives here. Doesn't even fucking live here. She's lying to them. Whatever. That's something else. I don't think they know that she's telling us that we can't open our blinds. I think she's taking creative liberties there, and I don't like that shit. It's fucking annoying. You're not gonna tell me that I can't open my blinds. That was the last straw for me. I'm opening. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Guess what, guys? I'm a virgin again. No, you're not. It's the new year. Doesn't it reset? No? Guess I'm a whore.
Okay, guys. I have a little bit of a scary story time for you. I don't know if this turned out to be anything, but my gut was telling me something weird was going to happen. So today I took my kids to see the new Moana live action movie. The movie started at 2:30. Obviously I know previews take a little bit of time, but the movie started at 2:30. At 3:45, so over an hour later, this guy walks into the movie theater. We're in a dark movie theater, the movie's going, and this guy's wearing sunglasses. And he's wearing like a baggy shirt, baggy shorts, and he's like walking kind of funny, like as if like he was like hiding something, carrying something, I don't know. Sometimes people sneak snacks into movie theaters, but this guy's over an hour late for the movie. So for context, we were in row G,
right in front of us was a bar, and then it was the floor seats, so like handicap seats, and then all those seats that are right in front of the screen. So we were the very first row behind the bar going up the stairs. So he walks right in front of us and starts to walk up the stairs. By the way he's walking, you can tell he's gonna keep going up the stairs. When he steps on the first stair, he's like getting ready to step again, and something falls out of his pants. Instead of being like, oh, whoops, I dropped something, let me pick it up, he like froze and then immediately sat down in the first seat of our row and just like sat there for a second. He moved some things around under his clothes, and then he like slowly reached. From what I could see, he dropped, it was like this brown glass bottle with like a thinner neck of the bottle. It wasn't like a beer, it was short, but it looked like some sort of bottle glass. I don't know if it was a drink or what it was. So in my mind, I'm like, is this guy sneaking alcohol into the movie? I don't know. Like, why is he so late? Why is he wearing sunglasses? Why is he at a kids movie sneaking drinks, whatever this drink is? He also had other things. So he's like moving these things around that are in like his pants, and he like picks up this glass thing that's what I thought it was. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what is going on? And I'm not watching, my kids like don't even know what's going on. There's not a lot of people in the movie theater, and like I just start getting this feeling like something is not right. Sorry, my dog is being cut. Puts his hands in his pockets, like is shuffling things around. He takes his sunglasses off and takes his hat off, and is like, this is like the look on his face. Like, I don't know if he had some sort of plan, and because he dropped the bottle or whatever it was, that plan got messed up and he had to sit down quicker, or what was going on. And I thought in my mind, I was like, we should leave. Like, I want to leave. But then I also thought, I was like, if I leave and make my kids leave right now, then they're gonna be really upset with me. As soon as I had that thought, like, they're gonna be really upset with me, I don't want to make things weird or awkward for no reason, like maybe this guy's, I don't know, like I did not know what was going on with this guy. As I had that thought of like, my kids will be mad at me, it was like, maybe we shouldn't leave, I got this like overwhelming feeling, get out now, like you have to get out now. Felt like I was gonna throw up. It was like I was like, I couldn't not listen to whatever was going on in my head. And so I grabbed the kids, I was like, we're gonna go to the bathroom. And Amelia was like, I don't have to go to the bathroom. I was like, we're gonna go to the bathroom right now. I get up and walk out, and like I'm leaving, and I make eye contact with another mom, and she's kind of looking at me like, are we having the same thought right now? I don't know if she ended up leaving. I walked out with the kid. Right when I walked out, there was 3 employees right there. I told them what was going on. They were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't care. Like, I just don't want somebody to get hurt. He's acting really weird. When his eyes were big, he was like this. And I was just like, something is not right. I'm not sticking around to find out what that is. So I took my kids to the bathroom and we got out of there. I don't know. I don't know if I overreacted. I don't know if something weird happened. I don't know. I do know they called security. So I don't know if they got him out of there or what was going on. Tell me what you would have done. I know I made the right choice in my mind. I knew I had to get out of there. I don't know if anything ended up happening. I got out. So then like an hour or so later, I'm like still like my heart is racing. I feel like I still have the like throw up feeling in my gut. Yeah, what would you have done?
Okay, I know you guys are wanting a movie theater update. I am outside with some kids, so if you hear some noise, that's why. But first off, I did call the movie theater since I paid with a gift card that my daughter got for her birthday. They weren't able to do a refund, but she said I could come pick up some free movie passes, so I'm gonna do that later today. She was very nice. I asked her, I was like, wanted to make sure everything was okay, nothing happened. She said she was one of the managers and she wasn't there yesterday when it happened, but she hasn't heard anything about it, so she's assuming nothing happened, which is great. I don't know, I guess, if they removed him from the movie theater or if he left on his own, or maybe he stayed and nothing happened. I don't really know what they did after I left, but she said as far as she knows, nothing happened, which makes me feel really good because I wanted everyone to be safe. Second of all, I know people are wanting to know where it was. I live in North Kansas City, so it was AMC off of Berry Road. I'm not saying that so like people can go like bash them or call them or post about them or whatever. I don't think they did anything wrong in the situation. They did everything that they could, as far as I know. And so, I mean, it could happen anywhere. So I don't really think the like location necessarily matters, but some people wanted to know. Another question I had was, how did I tell my kids about it? Did I tell my kids about it? I did tell my kids the situation once we got in the car, not like in a scary way. I was just like, hey, I know we left all of the sudden and you're probably wondering why, or you might be a little bit upset. I said, but I explained the situation. I said, I saw someone come in, they were acting strange, and I did not feel like we should be there any longer. I felt unsafe and I wanted you guys to stay safe. So I told them we can go see it another time, but we just needed to leave then. And I also told them, you know, if I ever say like, hey, we have to go, I said, I just need you to trust me in that moment. Just trust that I'm making the right choice for us. But I did love a comment that somebody put on here. They said you should have a code word. I think that's a great idea for your family to know. Let me see if there's anything I'm missing. I know one person did say on here, like, it was anxiety I was feeling, not the Holy Spirit or whatever. I don't really know what everybody believes. I am a Christian, so I know 100% the Holy Spirit was with me and was guiding me and protecting me. And so I know that 100%. I do know that moms have intuition and we, you know, go with our gut. I believe it. I believe that as well. But I also believe it was the Holy Spirit helping me. So I don't know if there was any more questions. If there are, you can comment them below. I appreciate everyone's support saying that I did the right thing. I hope that maybe me getting up, if he was going to do anything crazy, I hope me getting up and leaving and like making it obvious that I was leaving. Because I feel like I knew I feel like he knew I was staring at him because I was just literally like this the whole time. And then I got up, and it was very quickly after he came in that I got up and left. So maybe me getting up helped some people. Maybe nothing was going to happen. Either way, I'm really glad with the choice I made. So yeah, I think that covers it all. Yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know.